Thanks for tuning into Stocks with Antonio. Today I did something in the stock market that if you've been following me, you know I always say don't do this. I'm still going to continue to recommend that you don't do it, but if you want to find out what that is, stay tuned to the end. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about ServiceNow, ticker symbol NOW, NOW. Easy ticker symbol to look up for those of you that want to get some more information on this particular stock. Today had their earnings. Now I know Tesla had their earnings too, but I did a play with ServiceNow that I'm going to share with you. The ServiceNow is the one that my attention was on, and this stock was trading, I believe, about $200 a share, and it's gotten beaten down because their last earnings disappointed investors. Now, some of you that did watch the earnings call may already know that they beat expectations. And a lot of times I see from retail investors or hear from retail investors, oh my God, they beat expectation. Why is this stock selling off? Why is this stock price going down? Makes no sense. What's going on? And they're missing something. If you see an earnings come out and you think it did good, but the stock's selling off, do some research, do some digging, find out why, because I bet you there's a reason. What a lot of people don't realize is investors don't just invest in a company. Well, what they don't really realize is investors really are investing in companies' future. At least big money is, institutions. They're not too well, they are concerned with how the company's doing now. You want to make sure the company's doing well. So it's good that it beat expectations. You want to make sure the company's healthy. But you want to know that that company is going to continue to grow, that they're demonstrating to you that, hey, we're healthy now and we got all this going on and our numbers are going to continue to increase. We're going to continue staying healthy. And you want to take that money out of your pockets and you want to put it into us because we're going to grow your money, right? Because you hear a lot of people tell you, invest, invest, invest because of inflation. You hear that all the time. But you know what eats up your money quicker than inflation? Bad investments. Bad investments will eat up your money really fast. And one important thing that you need to really do is protect your capital, right? You want to protect your capital, so you want to be investing in good companies, up and coming companies that are showing indications, that are showing you signs, that are showing you through the earnings that they have a future and that they're going to stick around. You don't want to just go investing in anything with not really knowing how the company's doing, with not knowing how what their future predictions are, right? Because you can lose all that money. And if you are investing, you should definitely be using a stop loss because again, you need to protect your capital. I can't say that enough. So even though ServiceNow beat earnings, when it came to their future guidance, investors didn't like it. They didn't like what they heard. So I'm going to read briefly to make it short. The short answer, I'm going to give you the short answer. The stock fell right now 12, 14%. Now, remember, I'm making this video Wednesday night. It might fall more. In my prediction, the short term, it is going to probably pull back more than where it's currently at. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. And I can't guarantee you that's going to fall more, but I'm just sharing with you my prediction. So the stock fell right now about 12 to 14%, not because earnings were bad, right? We just went over that. The earnings are good, but because margins disappointed, big deals got delayed, right? So border AI fears, right? There's been a lot of AI fears. I believe in AI. I believe AI is going to be the future, but you keep hearing about the AI bubble and things like that. So it causes fears. But the margins guidance spooked investors, right? Spooked investors, some delays with some deals, all that. Investors didn't like that because that's not good for the future, right? And then the concern was going to do to the company and its numbers and its next earnings. So it's hurting the stock price, as you can see, and that's why I believe it's going to go further down. Now, a lot of you might have also stayed up to this point in the video because you might be interested in, hey, what did you do, right? Especially if you're a subscriber. Now, if you're a subscriber and you've been rocking with me, let me know down in the comments below. I love to know who's been, rocking with the channel for a little bit of a while. Let me know also, are you a day trader? Are you long-term investors? Do you do both? I love to know down below. But what I did, if you're familiar with options, I did a put. I did a put on an earnings call. I always recommend not to do that because to me, it's almost like a lotto play. Most of you watching this probably have played a scratch off before. Maybe you do it on a regular. Maybe you played the lotto, right? Now, obviously, the odds when it comes to a lotto or a scratch off, they're really against you. If you're doing an earnings play, it's really most likely going to be one or the other unless the stock just doesn't go anywhere. And hey, that could happen, right? But I feel like the odds of it going either one way or the other, obviously, it's a 50-50 is how I look at it. But you know that if you're playing that lotto ticket or that scratch off, well, however much you spend, if it's $1 or $20, however much you played, that you may lose all that money, but you're okay with it. If you're buying a ticket, you should say, hey, if I lose this, however much that ticket costs, that $20, $10, whatever it costs, I'm gonna be okay. At least if you're being responsible, if you decide to take some money and you wanted to play a scratch off for whatever reason, if you didn't win and you lost the cost of that ticket, it shouldn't ruin you financially. So that's what I did. I said, hey, I want to do an options play on an earnings. And I never do this, but I decided to do a change. But what I did, I gotta protect my capital. That's the most important thing. So I said I'm only gonna do one contract. I'm only gonna do an amount that I'm comfortable losing, and that's why I didn't do it on Tesla because Tesla was trading around $400 a share, and to do a call or a put, it was pretty costly. I was not okay losing that much money, so I said I'm gonna go with ServiceNow because I believe this one's another big player, and the stock price will move either up or down depending on this earnings call. So I did one contract. It was a put, and it expires August 24th till Friday. Friday is when it expires, and I did that put. And so far, it's paying off because after hours, you can see it was trading during the day, during market hours, a little over 100, and it crashed down to 89. Now we'll have to see where the price is for ServiceNow when the market opens at 9:30 tomorrow, Thursday. But I'm my plan is to sell right basically in the morning. Hopefully, it still be down. Hopefully, even further down. Get my profit. And you might be wondering, are you going to continue to do earnings calls? I don't know if I'll continue to do it. Again, they're very risky. I don't recommend anybody doing that. If you ever do decide to do that, just understand that the money that you put up to do it, you could lose it. So just make sure that if you do lose it, it's not going to ruin you financially, that you understand that. And I would say don't make it a habit. But if you want to do it here and there, in my opinion, nothing wrong with that, but you can't lose all the money that you put. There's no guarantees that you're going to win. So far, it's looking good for me. And this channel, that's what it's about. I'm sharing my opinion on the stock market. I'm sharing my opinion on stocks, letting you know what I'm buying long term, what I'm doing short term, sharing plays with you. If you like that, then subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments below, again, what type of trader you are. If you haven't done so, don't be afraid. Hit that smash button. Subscribe to the channel. Help out the small channel. So hit the subscribe button. Also, if you're into stocks and you're maybe like, hey, I want to day trade. I want to be a short, you want to do scalps, you want to basically hoping to become a day trader. Well, you got to learn the candles. So and check out the description box. I got a link in there for you that has some index cards. And it might sound silly, but hey, you got to learn the candles, right? It's going to help you with the candle names, some of the patterns. So I think that'll be useful. But if you want to become a better trader, you got to try to learn the technicals, got to try to start to get familiar with the RSI, with candle patterns, the candle names, the MACD. All those things are going to be important. There's a lot of indicators on there for when you're trading, and you got to start getting familiar with it and then kind of start to see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. If you're wondering, hey, you know what, where can I get good charts? I use TradingView. Some of the indicators I use is the 9 EMA with the 20. I do look at the RSI. I look at the MACD to do plays. And to be honest with you, I'm a student when it comes to scalping, day trading. I'm trying to become better. I started to do short-term trading last year. So now that I've been doing it for years and I'm a master, but I've improved quite a bit because almost every night I try to study a little bit more of the charts. And so far, I'm winning more than I'm losing. And that's all that's about. You're going to lose sometimes, but you want to make sure you're winning more. Now, when it comes to investing, I've been doing it over 10 years. So I really see my portfolio grow, and I understand and know from my portfolio that long-term investing does build wealth. I see my portfolio really grow, and the reasons grow is because for over 10 years, I've constantly invested into it every month. And that's the biggest thing. is investing into your portfolio on a monthly basis and investing in good companies. That's going to really help your portfolio grow. Now, if you're just someone watching and you want to be more hands off, then I would recommend buying something like VUG, VOO, something that tracks the S&P 500, well diversified, and you could just focus to put money into it every month. But the biggest thing is you got to put money. But I wanted to share with you why ServiceNow have pulled back, because I know a lot of investors didn't know why, because earnings were good. But just remember this, for future earnings on any company, investors don't just want to see that the company's doing good right now. They really care also about the future. So you want the company to be doing good right now, obviously, but also you want to see a bright future. You want to get strong forward guidance. That is key. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button, and I'll see you on the next one.